America has this, wonderful tradition of people that think outside the box and invent the electric light or the assembly line.
My favorite American composers are the ones who sort of are out there on the edge doing their kind of crazy thing. And those are the figures who always really inspired me. Of just saying, oh, you have this idea for a thing. Well, do it.
The American sound is something that's constantly being reinvented and redefined. That's saying the only constant is change. I think the American sound is always changing.
All of these things develop out of a desire to do something that hasn't been done yet.
I do think that as a composer in America, you step into a line that, at one time we'd have called it like the Maverick tradition, right? But like someone like John Cage looms really large, right? For me, Lou Harrison is a really important figure. Someone like Gloria Coates is really important, right? And these are people who kind of cast out on their own and did their own thing. And so when you look at these figures, they're deeply inspiring figures, and they do suggest that you can kind of make your own rules in a way.
The Maverick idea is, to me, really original, important voices, people like Meredith Monk and, of course, Steve Reich. Steve Reich was already using tape loops and doing things like that. That's one aspect of the invention. But he goes in, and there's Terry Riley doing this really cool piece called In C. And Steve says, it's missing something. And so he invents the pulse. All of a sudden, it sort of works in a different way. And I think that the kind of cross way in which Hewlett and Packard are in a garage in Silicon Valley and think, and then they put some stuff together. So it's a fascinating thing to see how this kind of invention happens. I want this, it doesn't exist yet, let me sort of make it.
With Henry Cowell and John Cage and Harry Partch, yes, these are my people. They were not doing the towing the European line, right?
But it's a very deep part of who I am as a composer is the fact that I was raised as a student around the music that developed from Schoenberg to Boulez, Stockhausen. I studied with Luciano Berio. I met Boulez in musical situations. And they're great musicians, but it was a world I couldn't possibly pursue.
Consciously turning away from European influences, either through use of technology or of unique instrumental or vocal sounds, creating one's very personal sonic world. And Meredith Monk is just a perfect example of that. From the start, Meredith didn't write orchestra music or string quartets or, traditional forms. She had her own vocal ensemble, and the style of singing was uniquely hers. All of these things develop out of a desire to do something that hasn't been done yet. The term of exploration, of a continual becoming, is something that has to happen in the United States because that's kind of where we are.
I never set out to invent my own language, which I'm now immodestly claiming that I've done. It just naturally happened. And it happened because of like I said, a healthy irreverence and a connection to that Maverick tradition.